As I've come to show you all in this video, there's a couple of rabbits I have carved from pieces of scrap holly over time. These were little leftover cutouts from certain other blanks I was cutting out. They came out the right shape for these little rabbits, so I decided to carve them like that. And I happen to have another couple of little pieces that came out the same way. I thought since it's coming on Easter, it would be a good time to come on here and do a little demonstration of how I do these. I will say, you know, I've kind of drawn little lines to kind of make along the long ears here, and that's just a little work that is gonna take us the rest of the way. And once I get these little lines carved out, I'm gonna show you all a little more how I go about this little work. I'm gonna first of all try making these little lines for these little ears here, and since I'm working on two for one set and kind of had the other two that I took out of another old set, that's kind of the reason I'm getting these together, working on them for good. And you can kind of see that the little lines are just gonna come out just fine. And there's comes a place where you kind of start to make out the little lines just to make the little front paws and the front legs. So we're gonna take that step right there. Going to take this along and make it so it comes out working for the better, and make little cuts here and cuts there. I say that it's all just some work, comes in our hands, kind of drives us to the bone, and all that we do, I say that that's one step we take. There's kind of a place at the front where it doesn't seem to be coming out too well. We got to manage that. We got to take the little steps out of that. There's another line here in this other one. We're going to make that line too. Kind of just made it out here. We're going to kind of take the line on the other side of this next one, kind of carve along that, make it like this. We're going to make this little line along the front here, as you will see, and this is how far we will go for now. I'd like to say that there's these little lines here that make the hind legs. You want to cut those out, make a little V for them, and try to measure it out so it comes out the right way it should. Oh, the child is gonna, well, some kid's gonna probably love these if a parent got them for them. And then we're gonna go to the other side. It's kind of a little bit harder to see the line on the other side from where you kind of see a different grain in the wood. As you know, with this spalted holly, the way it works is that once it gets soaked in the oil, it kind of turns a little bit of a dark brownish, even though it's kind of white on the outside. So we're gonna go along, take care of this next one, make the same little lines on it, cut out the same little lines, make it come out as best as it could, as best as it can. Oh, I say that this work is just gonna make us all see a little good thing here and there. So we've come along on that. We've taken care of this little spot. We're kind of working the lines out, make it so they come out nice and cool, nice and neat. So that's how we cut them. I'd like to say one thing here is when it comes along the top, there's a little line you make for the ears, starting with this line right about here. So we're going to make a little cut down the center to take care of that little spot and make these little ears come out as neat and possible as we can possibly make them. I'll tell you one thing is there's like the last UK game of the regular season is on upstairs. My parents are watching it, but I decided I'd be down here kind of working on this, making this video, just getting my little chance to kind of feature some things to you all. It's a little unfortunate that I just don't have anything of this pattern to show you all, and that this is just kind of made from a little scrap and just something I do from a random piece of wood that comes out in a shape that is not pre-planned. So work comes along like that, bless the child. And I say that this kind of work is just making its way right along. I think what I will do is you kind of see how at the top there's a place where you shave along the edge to make the ears. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Try to shave along there. Try to make the curved ends, try to curve it out just fine, because that's how a rabbit's ears are. They're kind of curved. I'd say in this particular project the ears come out kind of long for a rabbit's ears, but I think that would be good enough for the shape that the piece of wood turns out in, because that kind of work just makes a little special thing for you and me and for us. And I'd say I'm probably getting little wood chips everywhere, but that's just always something that I find a way to clean it up in the end when it happens that way. So we gotta work along on these, make them come out so they are going to be the best they can be. And I say that little work shall happen, little work shall go. I mean, I'd say this is a year when things get kind of a little different here and there because of how the pandemic's been over many years. There's probably fewer shows in the spring than there were in years past, and there's some stuff I'd say people can still be a little afraid to get out and do, but of all things, those things we're managing here, I managed to stay busy enough and try to keep enough things made so that I can kind of try to have more to sell when the time comes for us to kind of get things right again. I was at a bakery today in Versailles for their grand opening and saw a friend from an old church I used to go to there. She was nice, happy to see me, and so they kind of knew the girl who owns it, who was opening the bakery, so that was a fine event today. Great time, good people, a lot of nice people to meet. And while I'm at it, I think I'm going to kind of try to take the little same step along the bottom of the ears that I took the last time around. Try to make them so they get a little nicer and neater, and show in the end how good they are going to be. I say that this little work is just all the things we make it to be, all the good things we make it to be. It can be so much more if you apply yourself so much more to it. I say that there's a little work in here and work in there. I say that it's all coming along fine. It shall all do its own good. Make us all so we just see a little ways of the light, and how it all shall shine to us in the end. I say that this is all how it comes along, and this is just kind of like the kind of work that makes its way to us, makes its way to you and me. I say, hopefully by soon we can have these bunnies done. I must also mention that there's a little work here to do. It's going to kind of come along the front of the paws and the chin here, so try to add that work along if you can and where you can, and make it so it comes out so good, make it so it comes out so much better. And I say try to show it out in all you do, show it out in all your work. Oh, these little bunnies, they make a little charm and make us all happy individuals. I say that this little work shall come along on them, make us all little happy individuals, and make us all see a much bigger, better, happier world ahead of us. Sometimes these bunnies, they kind of remind me of another thing. They remind me of a little albino rabbit I had when I was a teenager. And it had pink eyes, so we named it Pinky. And I tell you, you know, for things like that, you know, creatures, they just have a little character in them, have little fancy traits. They make such beautiful little pets sometimes. But I must warn you that if you get a pet rabbit, I tell you, they are a responsibility you have to assume. They are a lot of responsibility you have to assume, and more than you realize. Sometimes I didn't know at the time I was getting it just how much they'd require, how much they'd have to get out their cage and exercise. The fact that you'd have to clean their cage a whole lot more often than you'd have to clean the cage of a lizard or a salamander or a toad or a frog. People, there's little work that happens, and little work that comes and goes. Sometimes you just see a little thing here and there, and you know, it'll make sense to you the older you get, the more you look back. These days I don't just go out and buy animals like I used to. I've learned from a little rabbit one time to ask little questions before you do any buying. There's little things we happen and things we learn the hard way. Finally come along, made the little place on the paws where it needs to be. probably will say on this one there might be a little more work to do below the paw ends, and kind of try to take it so it'll slow you down, make you so much better. Little things go on and little things come and go. But I'm just so glad I can get back to this carving and do a little more. I'd like to show you all a little thing here. There's a place where that comes along here on the hind feet. When you get around to the hind feet, there's a little cut you need to make. Kind of cut this little triangle out here, kind of make it come out like this, and you will see here's how I've gotten it to come out. And then there's a place here where along the back of the front leg you're going to kind of make quite a similar cut and shave it along just fine, and say you're going to be proud of your work when you're finished. We're going to kind of do it here to the other side as well. Make the little cut, kind of draw the little line, kind of make the other cut from the other part of the toe, and kind of make little cuts that go forward and into different directions. And I say we're going to have a fine and dandy little critter here once we all get it done, once we all know what to do. I'd like to say that we're kind of going along these back legs too, making the little shave around the bottom tarp, and we're going to kind of come around here, take the little light and make a little place here where we're going to show a little, shine a little, make it all come out so much better and good. And I say little bunnies, little mates, little rabbits, little hares, it's all just little work here. Come along here. And as you see, finally have gotten the back of the leg, and it all comes down to a little shape. I'd like to let y'all see how I've gotten these to come out so far. There's a place where, you know, back here in this part, we kind of got to do a little shaping of the knife in there. Kind of just, I'd say, get rid of these saw marks, get rid of these corners, and try to get it so it'll all just kind of measure out just right, make itself so it makes it so interesting to turn out in the end. I say that as we come along on the work, I accidentally picked up a finished one there, but this is just the way I kind of make it come along, like I just did here. And we're going to kind of show it along this edge as well, and kind of take it along to the next little step we're going to take to try to make it so it all comes out better and nicer and all for the good. And I say shave little spots out of this, get out all the little saw marks and edges, and make it come a little more clean as it needs to be. I say kind of work our way along. I'd say I've always got all the most part except for like the little cotton tail. That's going to be the part that we're going to put the work into it last and kind of make it so that it'll come out better in the end. Oh, the things it's going to be once we get a whole lot more done. And I say that little work kind of comes along the way and makes itself bright and clean and easy and all good things that we notice. Sometimes it can just make us think about creation and about Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden, you know. Try to sharpen little lines around here, make it so it all comes down to a little ending type. And we're gonna take one more, do what we've already done here, and do it with this one. Kind of make it so it comes out very good for the end. And I'd say that of all things, there's a place where I can't wait to get these. I can't wait to get them at my shows and have them a little in place where they can be a little more seen. We're kind of taking the next little line, making it so it shines along on here. And so I say that we're gonna cut a little dark side here and finally come out where the tail is going to end. Oh, it makes you think, oh, when we were kids, there was that old rhyme about little bunny foo-foo running through the forest, scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. Well, I say that we finally got the carbon part done on these two, except for maybe I'd say the part of the head of this one. We need to work a little more on that. Then we're about to be done with these. There's going to be little places in here where we're going to place the eyes eventually, and that is something we'll take care of that as soon as we need to, and we have a rotary tool with which that will be done. So just wanted to say that appreciate you coming on here to watch how this video goes, and hope to be back on soon with many more things to say and many more things to share. Goodbye for now.